I absolutely love going down just amazing streets, seeing new neighborhoods, seeing different styles of homes. Every time I visit a new state, just like getting off the normal path. Most people go to Chicago, they go downtown, they sightsee. But when you consult, you get to like actually go into the heart of different businesses, to neighborhoods, etc., meet the people, and it's beautiful. Good morning. It is a beautiful day here in Chicago. And today I'm actually working with a group called PACC Solutions, and I'm actually really excited. Michael and his wife have put an amazing company together. And I was out here in Chicago. We actually went up to Wisconsin about 5 years ago. And so they had me out on an onsite, and they had about, 5 or 6 sales reps, scaling company. But it's so fun to watch the difference of a company 5 years ago versus today, because a lot can happen in 5 years. I think a lot of people underestimate what they can do in 5 years, and they overestimate what they can do in one because they are really short-sighted people. So as I go out and consult this roofing company, this is probably number couple hundred that I've done. And I'm really excited because they brought me out for the whole company, not just the salespeople. This isn't just a rah-rah, not going in knocking, but it's the actual entirety of their all hands. So you have customer service, you have project managers, you have crews, you have a whole group of different variety of people where how do you teach them still a carnivore mentality? How do you still teach every one of their employees to have synergy? And as a business owner, that seems to be a difficult piece, right? A lot of people struggle at getting everybody on the same path, despite, some of them are 1099 and they have to go eat what they kill, or they don't eat. But some people have a lot of employees that are just kind of bumps on the log, that it's like, how do you motivate them to get 100% out of their efforts? Even though you're paying the same amount, then some of your employees, you might be only getting 50% of the effort. So let's see what we can do to maximize their energy, maximize their efforts. And my name's Sam Taggart. I help scale D2D businesses, and it's super exciting to be able to come out here in person, boots on the ground. So here we go. Talk about an awesome culture. I mean, this is their gym in their office. I mean, a lot of times I go to a roofing company and you got random manila folders all over the floor, shingles, some in garage. You walk into this office and you got some vibes. Talk about a culture to be excited about, proud of. You can tell that they're on a mission, they care about their reps. They've invested in the actual culture. And I think a lot of companies are short-sighted. They try to take all the profits and they're like, how do I just make as much money as possible, instead of like, if I can invest in culture, team, infrastructure, how do I actually scale? This wall is probably my favorite wall I've ever seen in a roofing company. It's the most gangster process of any roofing, and it is just on paper towels. But I actually think the authenticity of it's what's culturally cool.
He's been on a mission to try to train as many people as he can to be good at what they do, to be successful. And he's helped a lot of companies. He's, I think, consulted probably how many companies do you think?
300 plus.
Yeah, just on systems and how to build processes, how to be more professional, training on doors as well. So he has a wealth of knowledge, and he's going to be sharing with us today some of that knowledge. So thank you so much, Sam, for coming out. And yeah, appreciate it, man.
I'm excited. No, what an honor to be here. And I was reflecting on, I came out here, 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
First year, 2021.
2021, so over 4 years ago probably. And we were up in this like little...
It was the Playboy.
Yeah, Playboy's
Playboy
Mansion.
Yeah.
Which was dope. It was like this cool resort, and you guys had what, like 4, 5, 6 people? Like, it was small.
It was a small group.
Very small group, and I was excited because it's like not many times you get the opportunity to go to a company, come out, consult, and then see them 4 or 5 years later. Because this is my first piece of advice. You overestimate what you can do in 1 year, but we underestimate what we can do in 5. Has anybody seen that ring true in their lives? Yeah? So it's like, we always were like, I'm gonna hit this much, and it's like, we don't oftentimes think far enough in our lives to actually accomplish something great, because we're like squirrels. I mean, I was on a hike yesterday and my kids are all like running around, they're squirrel, and I'm like, I have 3 girls and a stepson, And Nora, my middle child, she is like 8-year-old, fun, just such a ball of energy. But I'm like, man, you are like a squirrel. Like she's over here, squirrel. And I'm like, that is you to a T. And every like 10 minutes, another squirrel, and she'd run down some weird little rabbit hole. And I watch us in life a lot of times, we don't stick to something long enough to actually realize something great. Does that make sense? I'm supposed to, in this app, I paid these guys, it was all AI, builder AI, preset code. It's supposed to take them 6 months. So I go to DoorDoorCon, I'm like gonna launch this. I build these big banners, spent a lot of money on this. And we go to launch and they're like, oh, we're not done. I'm like, okay, so what? You need a couple months? Like, yeah. So I was like, dang it, I missed my big event. I missed the big launch. We go another year, event comes around. We're still not even there with an MVP. I'm like, what the freak? Get mad at them, still don't launch. Go another year, like where are we at app, meeting with them twice a week. Like this is supposed to be done forever ago, still don't launch. So I missed 3 years of like a big event that I'm supposed to launch this human development system. And then October last year, I was like, F that. I'm sending you like a letter, sue them, and then come to find out they're all fraud. They had 700 developers in India and they just went bankrupt like 3 months ago. So I just spent 4 years, 500 grand on an app that is just gonna live in the ether for now. So I'm gonna teach you the concepts, but not have the tool behind it. But I think the bigger lesson was I swung, I went hard, and I chalk it up for the game. Because what I did in the development, and this is like what's interesting, because part of this human development isn't about sometimes publishing that 700-something page book. Sometimes it's not about launching this badass like global app that you're expecting to put in. Sometimes it's the man in the making by developing those things. Does that make sense? And I think that the person you're becoming and what it's shaping you oftentimes is much greater than maybe the outcome of publishing the app and making this some like big tech play or writing the book, or does that make sense? And so let's break this down even more. As you then said, Di, story, which is this compilation of, we call this confirmation bias. Has anybody heard that? So we approach things with a lens and we create a story with everything we do. Meaning, if I had been bit by a snake and then all of a sudden I see a snake, my natural lens is that snake might bite me. If I'd never been bit by a snake and I'm like a snake handler and I'm just like obsessed with snakes, I'm like, oh, snake, just go grab it, right? It's the snake is a snake and you are you. It's just how am I approaching this is my story. Does that make sense? And so we create stories for the future and we create stories in the past. Does that make sense? And what's sad is I watch, let's use like my ex, for example. She's built so much story of the past to validate what? A feeling. Does that make sense? I need to like cement into my story of this and that and this is, and I've probably done the same. Does that make sense? Because of how I want to feel around scenario. You see where this is? Versus, everything is a story essentially. You guys are building a story. So I'm going to apply this here in a second. We're going to go through a story creation framework, if you guys allow me, that'll help you guys be more intentional about finding the story in which you want to write. And I think there's a formula to find a passion which starts with curiosity, because we're all told curiosity killed the cat. Has everybody heard that? I'm like, bullshit. Curiosity is what starts innovation. Curiosity is what actually creates growth. Curiosity is what actually creates learning and understanding. I hate to break it to you. Sometimes it's not like we wake up, like everybody's like, do what you love and love what you do. And I'm like, okay, like in theory, right? But did everybody like go to school? And I love this story because it's like my grandma's looking at me and she's like, when are you gonna get a real job? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm just gonna do this through college and then get a normal job in my head, right? And then it took me a second to be like, what the hell is a real job? You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm gonna graduate school and then hope to go get a $70,000 salary where in 4 months I made $500,000. What real job could you do that? I'm like, sign me up for the fake jobs, because that's the better ones. Hate to break it to you people, but did I love door to door? I remember my second summer, I'm driving from Austin back to Utah. And I remember crossing into New Mexico from Texas border. It's a long, Texas is a long state. Anybody driven across Texas? It is forever. Like, it takes you forever. And I'm like finally making it to New Mexico, and I'm like, see ya, Mother Texas! Like, I'm like, never coming back. And then like what? Like a few months go by, you see your paychecks, and you're like, coming back! You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, gotta do that. Like, where else am I gonna go make as a 20-something-year-old kid $500,000? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I'd be dumb to go get a normal job. Like, one of my characteristics or one of my skill sets was I had the gift of gab. I could talk to people. I was willing to work. I had that, like, that was like in my DNA. And I'm like, why would I deny that? Why would I go be an engineer when I'm good at talking to people? All right, biggest tip of advice for roofing companies is don't be a roofer that just is a roofer. Meaning, you're the guy that's doing all the production. Nobody wants to buy, nobody wants to really call it a real business if you are the one producing more than 70-50% of your volume. Really, a roofing company should be, you're not producing any of the volume, and your sales team, your lead aggregation, the way that you go to market, your name, your brand is producing the revenue, despite you. And that's where we really try to get to. That's like step one of running a roofing company, is just get to that point, and then we can talk about scaling and duplicating that process.